Hello, today we are in Monchique, and both the town and the region are very touristic. They're touristic mainly because of the points of view or miradouros, the hot springs, hiking and bikes. So let's check out the miradouro right here and see if it's that amazing. Okay, I think I'd give it 3 stars, especially because this is a famous place for its miradouros. But this one is not the one that is famous, you know, there's 2 famous ones. Zoya and Foia, I think. So let's go to at least one of those. Seen a lot of bicycles this morning around, and I don't get it much because this is a very hilly region, it's very steep. So it doesn't look to me like a place where you want to go ride a bicycle, you know what I mean? So let's go check out Foia. Okay, now I get the mirador. You can see almost all of Algarve from here. This is the Atlantic south of Portugal. Portimão, Lagos. I think you can see Faro as well. I don't know exactly which one is it because I don't know that region so well. And to this side you can see the end of Algarve to the west. So that's the Atlantic coast to the west, and Sagres is there, the corner of Portugal. It's there somewhere. And this is Foia, the hill. So Algarve is quite flat, more or less, and it's made mostly of sedimentary rock. But Monchique is a magmatic mountain or tall hill, depending on your perspective. Which is something unique in Algarve. So in this region you can actually see sedimentary rock, and always with magmatic rock building under it. Especially on the taller areas where this magmatic rock pulled even higher, even stronger. So Monchique is really truly a special tiny place in the region that is so beloved from so many people in Europe. You also have a lot of foreigners living here, many times visiting, but many even live here. And most of the houses in many villages are now for tourists or even residentials, but they're not locals, let's say. They moved here to spend their golden years. And it's interesting because the more rural you go, the more you see that at some point. Like if you go really vague, really somewhere that there's no one, that's where you're going to find the most Dutch and the most Germans and so on. Let's just check out the top, because this is not the top yet. We are at the top, 902 meters, but the view here is not as impressive because of course you have things for the height, like military radars and cell phone towers. So it's a quite populated area. Of course the view is still amazing. And this is the highest point in Algarve because, yeah, there's not that many hills in Algarve or mountains. It's a windy hill, so I'm not bald, it's just the wind that took my hair. Let's try to check out the northwest side of the peak to see what we see. Now I'm really happy I brought jeans and not shorts. That's something that is important to keep in consideration if you come here to hike and you don't know the place, is that so from this rock we have a nice view from the north side. Fucking wind. So most of this is Alentejo because we're at the tippity top of Algarve and we're only halfway up. Here you can see the west side. Fucking wind! West, north. So let's head back to our tiny little car and explore a bit of Monchique. The SD card keeps crashing on me and the wind makes the audio really hard outside, so sorry for the quality. Let's go back to Monchique and have some lunch and check out the town a little bit. Let's go. 100 years ago or so, Monchique was a very prosperous region because it had more population. Population was prosperity back then. Why? Because food, of course. Because back then chestnuts were the basis of feeding. The bread was made with chestnuts. You would dry them and they would last all year and you could make flour out of it. And then the wheat became the major basis of food supply, but that only happened in the middle of the 20th century, in Portugal at least. Maybe in the 20s and 30s, where wheat started to be a general crop. And turns out that Monchique is a perfect climate for chestnut trees, and they grow almost spontaneously here. The thing is, now since the 80s, most of them die because of global diseases, because yeah, of course, when the world becomes global, it's not just the markets that are global, it's also the wars and the diseases, as we can see now more than ever. So now you don't see that many chestnuts here because of that. Yesterday I saw this bar with its name based on bicycles around right in the center of Monchique, and I didn't understand why. But now I get it, because bicycles are really a big theme here. But it's not like a leisure type of biking, it's really hobby, but serious hobby. They all have really nice legs, and you see quite old people, like 60 years old or so, going to the top of Foia. That's impressive. Every other year I've been here, this has been insane at this time of the year. A lot of markets, a lot of tourists, a lot of people on the streets. Now it's really killed because of COVID. But I went to Portimão, for example, yesterday at night, and it's the same as it always has been. And there's many other regions that are like that. Unfortunately, Monchique is not one of those. It got really hard hit by the pandemic. So of course you cannot come to Monchique without trying aguardente de Croia. Na zdrowie. Very nice. Tá assim mais parado por causa do Covid, não é? Pois. Há zonas que já quase não se nota, sabe? Lá em Lisboa, na costa, eu sou de Lisboa, tenho lá uma amiga que tem um hostel e ele já não nota a diferença, está igual, já há 2 anos. Não, isso por ali para companhias. Pois, exatamente, eu passei lá ontem à noite, dei um saltinho. Está igual, está igual. Mas aqui nota-se muito. Eu dormi cá e notei que isto está muito...
É muito parado. Mas já, nós já somos poucos.
Pois.
Depois é uma vila muito envelhecida.
E houve muita gente que se calhar fechou e já não abriu. Será?
Também,
Pois.
e a vila, nós próprios somos muito envelhecidos.
Pois.
Uma taxa já muito...
Pois. Sabe, a minha mãe também é de cá e foi para Lisboa também, nunca mais voltou. Os meus primos todos também. Foram para Portimão e isso.
É assim.
E nota-se muito agora.
Mas já está a voltar muita gente.
Está a voltar, sim, nota-se, mas...
Ou outros vendem as coisas que
Sim.
tinham, casas velhas.
E estrangeiros também, vêm cá pagar muito. Mas nas costas... Ah, é? Ah, ainda bem, olha.
As casas das famílias.
Ah, ainda bem, olha.
Aí na volta já se vê, mesmo na serra, ontem se dava a volta na serra, longe daqui,
Sim.
com os amigos e casas velhas estavam tudo abandonado e outros venderam e as famílias
Tomaram conta das casas depois.
e estão a limpar e estão a construir de novo.
Se quiser ver dança,
We are now in convent of Monchique, which is known for being a convent and being in Monchique. And it's the only place in the world that gathers these two characteristics. Unfortunately, we cannot go in because it was taken by a family of squatters, which sucks. But yeah, it's here. So there was a family of squatters and there was a guy in the convent asking people if they wanted to take a picture inside or go inside. And yeah, I'm not quite a YouTuber yet, I'm so stupid, I should have just gone inside and make content out of it, right? That's what being a vlogger, a traveler vlogger is all about. Well, next time. I'm a bit regretful, but yeah, I'm not gonna go back now. I'm already quite far away. So subscribe and keep watching my videos. So next time you see my stupid interaction with my crazy hair. So now lunch is taken. Let's leave Monchique and go for a tiny little, maybe not so tiny, hike around Marmelete. The famous aguardiente that's made from here, which means burning water, is from these berries. So this is a house dedicated to this, so locals can brew it. They have an instrument to make it. So this is something that I really love, that you have almost everywhere in Algarve, and in most more advanced countries with more money you really don't have, which is free public bathrooms almost everywhere. Ta-da! And it even has soap and paper, very nice. The kids I just filmed with the sledge came to me asking if I could saw the video, and I gave them my channel's name, so if you're there, kids, hi. Sorry for speaking in English. Where now? Cork and cork trees. They are everywhere here. Something interesting is that more than 50% of the cork produced in the world is produced in Portugal, and we're very proud of it. It's very good for wine bottles, of course, but it's also soundproof, fire resistant, and it's very light and hard and resistant. You can do a lot of things with it. They're native trees, they grow here very well, and also the most rich person in Portugal is officially rich because of cork trees. He has a huge market of cork trees here. And ta-da, this is the cork, how you pick it up. It has this aspect. It's very also nice to, if you have a rabbit pet or a cat, they're gonna love this. It's amazing. And the cats love to sharp their claws here. This is virgin cork. It's a bit shittier, maybe that's why they left it here. And also, as you can see here, this one burned, but the tree doesn't die usually. It's very fire resistant, which is cool. And you only take out the outer layer. Every 8 years or so, you can take out the outer layer, then it grows again. And they mark it, this is to say which year it was cutted. So this is probably 2001, that's why it has a 1. So when it's a 9, 2029, so this was cut in 2021, I mean. When it's 2029, they can cut it again. And the first cork of the tree is the virgin cork, and unlike olive oil, virgin means it's not good at all. The second time they cut the cork, it's not virgin, it has another name, but it's also not amazing, but it's a little bit better. And after the third time is when it's very smooth, very nice, amazing cork. Also, another very interesting fact about this region is that I might be lost right now, so I don't know if you're ever gonna see this video. Eucalyptus is also a very common plant right now in this region and most of Portugal. It started to be planted around 50 years ago, and it's very polemic. Why is it very polemic? Because it grows very fast, so it's not very dense, so that means it burns very easily. And with the forest fires, eucalyptus is a tree that doesn't help much, let's just say, unlike cork tree, for example. But it gives money very fast. and you don't have to put much work into it, and gives money fast. And of course, people that own these lands, like everyone else in the world, including you and me, wants to make money easy and fast, right? So now recently they've become a bit more restricted because especially with what's happening now in Europe, people are more and more mindful of the forest fires risk and problem, so they're more restricted, and everything is way more clean now. I never saw Portugal as clean as it is now, the forests. So I guess that's great. Since we're in a botanical class, this is medronho, and this is the fruit that you make aguardente from. This one is very fucked up because it probably doesn't have much water. So this is a tree and it's native from here, and it's so nice, the aguardente medronho. I also do it sometimes. Maybe I'll do a video one day about it. In English this has a funny name. It's called strawberry tree. So this is the strawberries, and they're all dry because it doesn't rain here much, so they should be like red and fluffy and fat. It's still a bit early for them. They usually give fruit in the end. Usually the fruit is matured in the end of August and September and the beginning of October. Okay, I'm now officially lost, and there's no network connection here, of course. Otherwise things would not be that interesting. A fun fact about the cork trees that I forgot to tell you is that it's illegal as F to cut them. It's almost akin to murder. So if you cut one, the sentence, I believe, is up to 15 years in jail. They're really protected, especially now more than ever, when we're starting to awake collectively to the importance of preserving nature and the environment a bit. These are probably some of the last people that live still in these remote places, like my mother's family. Nowadays you can see sometimes people living in places like that, but they're almost always foreigners, especially from Germany and from Netherlands that I know of. You have some of them living here remotely like this, but here you can clearly see it was local. This one is big as fuck, boy. I don't know if you can see it. Shit, boy. It's almost the size of my face. If you come hiking to Algarve, bring water. Pre-download your map so you're not lost like me. There's no internet connection in many places. And always wear jeans. Why, you ask? Because unlike most of the world, I guess, all the plants here are uncomfortable. They're poisonous, or they have spikes, or both, or something else even worse. I guess it's typical of dry climate, so it's very uncomfortable. Here it's pleasant because the field is you know, clean. But there, for example, it's gonna be annoying. Nice strawberry tree. Also, I'm completely lost and I'm walking for 3 hours. Fuck me. Like, I'm not completely lost. I know I have to go in that direction. The problem is I cannot just walk through the mountains. Fuck me. Yes. So what we really want when you're doing a hike is having to go back, which is the case now. I checked Google Maps, it doesn't have connection, but at least the GPS works and I'm completely away from anything. Great! In Portugal no one hikes. Also the weather is not that great for hiking, but we don't have the hiking culture. So you're here, I'm here for 3 hours and I don't find anyone, I never saw anyone. And it's very normal, it's always like that. In Germany, for example, or in Czech Republic, everyone hikes, so you're always meeting someone. Which is a bit annoying, but it has some advantages, like people can take a picture of you if you're alone. And yeah, if you get lost, you can always ask someone or just follow someone else. Here, if you get lost, you really get lost. Here we are again. It was so nice, we had to come back. This is the ghost town of Moinho de Cima, which means upper mill. Apparently someone still lives here, but yeah, I think it qualifies as a ghost town. There's money in Algarve. And this town even had a street apparently, huh? Interesting. Other times. Ooh, nice boy. That looks a lot like a boom tent. I bet my ass this is some foreigners with money and they love boom. I also love boom. Fucker. This motherfucker, I missed this one. I think it means turn right. Great. Amazing. That's why this all went bad. I should have gone there. Amazing. So this is at least is a good sign. I'm almost near civilization again. Ooh, Marmelete. Pieces of Marmelete. We're back into civilization. So this video is probably quite long already. we're gonna end it here, and there's gonna be a part 2. Shh, don't tell anyone, it's our little secret. So I hope you enjoyed and keep updated for more adventures soon. Ciao, bye, nasledano, tschüss, adieu.
A meio da semana jogas outra vez fora. O João Mário